Very cool.
Hey everyone, it's Yvonne and Shean
Hey,
here.
hello.
Welcome, Shean. How are you?
I'm well. I'm well. I'm hoping the video is received well. I'm excited for it.
I think so. Hold on, I need to adjust my chair for a
You're
second.
fine.
Doing this live because usually I put myself up a
I know I'm
little bit
moving
higher.
Instagram as well, so I'm trying to finagle everything as well. We
I
need a
know.
better system.
Exactly. All right, so let's give everyone a few minutes to come in
Yeah.
since this is very spur of the moment type of deal.
Yeah. Yeah.
But we just premiered our April design video with Shean Strong, where Shean talked about all of his tips and tricks for hanging installations, and I love it. Great job, Shean.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Yeah, let me hop on over to our Mayesh page real quick.
For sure.
This is so fun. I love it. We have a few viewers. So, hey guys, whoever's watching, I would love, as usual, comment with who you are and where you're from. I'm sorry if you already did it in the premiere, but I love seeing who's all watching. And for our very first premiere, I don't think it did too bad. I think we got up to 60 live viewers.
That was cool. I like it. I like it.
Yeah, I'll take it. And 50 was kind of where we were hovering, 50, 55. So I was pretty happy with that.
Wonderful. That's good. And I was doing a live Instagram thing as well. So I think we had like 30 people on Instagram Live, which was kind of cool. So
nice.
Yeah, we have a good little number that was happening. So
great. I see a question from Renee on our live right now. She says, hello, I saw the video and love the blooms. Could you give me the name of the blooming greenery?
Yeah, absolutely. Japanese spirea. Spiera, I think is how it's pronounced or spelled. That's one of my favorite spring, I guess, greens, flowering green. It's so pretty. It's just like this beautiful linear kind of shape. On my Instagram, I did a bouquet of nothing but spirea and lily of the valley. And it's just such a delicate, beautiful flower, like flowering branch. So yeah, spirea, it's a great product. And Mayesh, of course, we used it actually at the workshop in San Diego, and it was stunning. It was beautiful. So you guys always give great products for everyone. So
we try our hardest.
Yeah.
I see. Okay, I see another question from Kate Jones. I'm curious to see. I always feel like there's a delay with my Facebook Live and a delay with what I see in Be Live TV, which is what I use to make these interviews happen.
Yeah.
Okay, it's not here. Let me go back to Facebook. So it's from Kate Jones, and she asked, how do you get the blooms to be so open but not old and wilted looking? Do you keep them out of the cooler at all? And do you use just fresh water solely or water with flower food?
Yeah. So I don't use a cooler. I know people cringe at that thought. I don't ever use I've never used one. I've been doing this for like 5 years now. I have almost 6 years. And I just don't use a cooler. I think that flowers, when you want them to get that big, they've got to obviously be warm. When they start getting cold, things start to like shut up a little bit more. So by keeping them out of the cooler, they're automatically going to open up for you. So that's one thing that I do. I don't, especially if I want them to be pretty big. The tulips, the roses, those things that I can like reflex and make them really, really big. Also, I think it's the quality of product that you're ordering as well. Thankfully, Mayesh provides some like really, really good products. That way we're able to do these really cool things, because if you have, old flowers, you're not going to be able to do as much reflexing because they're going to kind of droop. And when it comes to like flower food, I know there in the community, there's like people who love flower food, people who don't. I don't have a preference to like use it or not use it. I just truly believe that flowers want fresh water. So I'm just like, keep them out of the refrigerator. I don't want them to be closed up, and I just use water. Sometimes boiling water, depending on the flower, sometimes cold water, sometimes, room temperature water. So just water.
Just water.
Yes.
Good stuff. And I didn't see Kate's question because that's from last month's video, but it's all good. We answered it.
There you go. That's good.
Yeah. Okay, so I have another question from RSVP Floral Design.
Mm-hmm.
They want to know, when inserting your tube stems, do you use anything to adhere them or just stick them in?
No, I don't. I just put them in the tube. Good to go. Actually, I've never known anyone to adhere them. That might be an idea. I mean, yeah, no, I just put them in the tube.
It's all good. Yeah, that's an easy one.
Yeah.
And then Lisa says, how do you keep it fresh for the product you are not using a water source for?
So typically, I mean, you got to kind of know your flowers. Things like carnations, roses, they're going to hold up pretty well out of water. Things that are going to be a little bit more sensitive, like those tulips, those butterfly ranunculus, those are going to need a water source. So it's kind of just knowing the product that you're working with. When I'm working with flowers like this, I don't need these things to last, 2-3 days. I need them to last for like 8 hours. So I'm not super concerned with them. I know that sounds horrible. You're like, oh my God, these flowers are dying. But like they've served their purpose. They're able to kind of do what they need to get done for that moment and what the client, has purchased them for. So I really, I don't use water tubes when I don't need to. I use them if they're like a little bit more sensitive of a flower. But yeah, I hope that answered the question. I hope that kind of.
No, that was great.
All right, cool.
It's great. And then let's see. Lynn says, how far ahead of time could you do the install?
I mean, I think it depends on the flowers. I think it depends on the temperature of the place that you're working in. I mean, obviously, if you're working in like the dead of summer in July, you're going to be really careful not to use like hydrangea. I mean, something that's going to need like a lot of water. But I think it just really depends. There's a lot of variables that come to like answering that question. Typically, we get to the venue like around 8, 9, if we can do that. And that's kind of the first thing that we get done because it usually takes the most amount of time. And it's kind of, I don't know, for me, it's a little bit more particular. So I want to make sure I have time to make adjustments. So I'd say, I mean, it can hold up about 10 hours, 10, 15 hours, something like that. But yeah, I try to get it done as soon as possible when I get to the venue. That way, if there is anything that's like falling apart or dying or dead or whatever, I have, time to make those adjustments. So.
Good stuff, Sean.
Man, thank you. These questions are good too. I'm a little nervous. I don't know if it's the coffee or if I'm just nervous because you guys are asking some pretty intense questions over here.
It's good. It's good. I love it. And I've been wanting to do this since we really started this with you. So I'm excited about that too.
We get a lot of, I know you guys get a lot of questions on your Instagram. Hanging installations always seem to be like a thing that people just they don't know the mechanics behind it all. So I think this was a really cool video to get you guys kind of like inspired and kind of pumped to do something like this because you guys can totally do this. It's not a difficult, as you saw, it's a super simple process.
Yeah, it's definitely, I think, one of those projects that not everyone has opportunity to do. So, they always have a lot of questions, and I think it's great. It's good content.
Yvonne, I'm doing a lot. Oh, sorry. Are you?
It's okay.
I'm doing a live on Instagram as well, and I had a question come in that said, what are 2 things that I learned last season that I'll apply to this coming season? And I think that's a good question. I think it's always nice to kind of reevaluate what you have done in the past and how you're making things like better going forward. And I just kind of want to address that. But I always make sure after every wedding, I go home and I write down in my journal, like it sounds crazy, but like things that I can do better. And one of the things I think is time management, which is a huge thing, I think, especially when you're doing installations like this, making sure that you have enough time to make those modifications, enough time to hoist those things up, enough time to make sure that your team is like all on the same page. So yeah, that was just one thing I wanted to address. So
yeah, that's great. This is just a comment from Diane. She says, Sean, it was beautiful. Love it.
Thank you so much, Diane.
Jamie has similar sentiments. Love the installation. I love to incorporate something similar to this to draping installations that I currently do. Thank you for not using a cooler. I don't either.
There we go. I like that. I think there's a lot of kind of like studio florists, I guess, that don't use a cooler. So it's nice to be able to have the people who are like, who don't use them because they are concerned that their flowers aren't going to last, to know like other people are doing this too and it's all right. Again, nothing against coolers by any means because, sometimes you need them and sometimes they're going to be like worth the investment to have one. But I think it's just nice to kind of show, 2 different ends of the spectrum when it comes to working with flowers.
Yeah. Yeah. I have a little person visiting me. Yeah. That's what happens when we do it later in the day. That's if everyone wants to know why I do lives usually at 10 a.m. in the morning, it's so that I don't have little people walking in the background.
All right. We like little people.
Penny says, thank you. Being in the high desert, we need a cooler. How can you not in these temperatures?
Absolutely. I mean, that's, again, it's something to factor in. Thankfully, Georgia has pretty temperamental weather. I'm doing a wedding out in California this summer, and I'm a little bit nervous about the flowers because I'm just like, I've not worked in that kind of climate before. So it is something, I think it's sort of really determined where you're working. A friend of mine works out in Arizona, and they're like, we've got to have a cooler. And I'm like, yeah, that's awesome. You know, thankfully, like I said, our weather down here, it's pretty good. I can keep the flowers, you know, out, and they'll be fine. So
very good. Good stuff. All right, let's see. I have another question for you. I think it's similar to what you had already talked about, but it's from Kimberly. She says, how far out do you have your flowers delivered?
Oh, day of. I do everything day of. I think this past year we did a wedding where we had like a large like Smilex installation that was like literally covering the roof. Thankfully, we were allowed to get in the day before and do that, just because that takes a lot of time. You know, you don't think on a scissor lift it's going to take that much time. Trying to figure out the scissor lift alone takes a good little bit. So yeah, but usually everything is kind of done in the day. And if we need to get there pretty early, I usually talk to the venue and just say, are we able to get in? And if not, sometimes the client has to pay for a couple extra hours for us to get in there. But again, that's all factored into the pricing structure, making sure that we're able to accommodate what they're exactly wanting. If it takes more time and it costs more money, that's something that, you got to consider when you're working with your client. So.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
And then let's see. Jamie also had a question. Do you ever use the flower hydrating spray to keep everything hydrated?
That's one thing that I do. I don't use it often, but I do use like Crown and Glory is one thing that I will, like a finishing spray, kind of use on the flowers. To kind of keep things kind of like locked in. I don't use it all the time, but that's one product that I'm like, I really do like using just because it's consistent. I know what it's going to do. I know what flowers I can and cannot use it on. So yeah, that's one thing that I like to use.
Okay.
Yeah.
Going through here. Let's see, more from Jamie.
Cool.
Do you tie or use wire or string to keep the branches secure before adding the greenery?
Do you tie or use wire or string to keep the branches secure before? Good question. So like, I'm assuming you mean like the little viney things that we had. Those were actually just kind of like sitting in the rope. I did just to kind of, when I started lifting it up, it was kind of shifting a little bit. So I talked about in the video, making sure you have time for those adjustments. But I did take zip ties and I just kind of like found a pretty secure spot and just kind of like zip that up real quick. And that really helped it when we were like putting that thing up there to not shift forward. Because when you're working with an arrangement like that, because it is one-sided, it's going to be pretty like top heavy or forward heavy. So when you're lifting things up, it's going to want to naturally kind of move forward like that. So by securing something in the front, kind of to the back, up to the string, does that make sense? So like my arm, the string, or yeah, so my arms are stringing the arrangements here. You kind of want to pull it full or pull it back a little bit and then zip it up. That really helps with that security, especially when you're having to move things. So yeah, I hope that answered the question.
Good. Love it. I still have more questions.
Yeah,
a few more. Diana, and this question was posted on the premiere post on Facebook. She says, so other than the tulips, nothing is based in any water source?
No. I mean, again, things aren't going to be up there for that long. If I was doing something like this for, I don't know, like a company and they wanted something to be up there for 2 or 3 days, absolutely. Everything would be in like a water pick. But I think for something that's going to be temporary like this, it would have been fine not to have it. The butterfly ranunculus, they held up pretty well. It was up there. Probably, I think we got finished filming at like 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, and they were still fine. They were still kind of like turgid and good to go. So yeah, I think you'll be fine doing something like that. You'll be good.
Yeah. Penny has a great question. She says, when the venue doesn't have the right construct for you to anchor your heavier arrangements, how do you handle that?
Great question, Penny. I love that question. So originally, when I got to the space, well, before I even got to the space, I kind of was familiar with the venue already. I've never worked in the venue, but I did a walkthrough when they opened it up, so I wanted to kind of be familiarized with it, or familiar with it, I guess. And I knew they kind of had like some You guys might hear a train in my house. I'm so sorry. You guys might hear it honking.
Babies, trains, dogs. It's all good. We roll with it.
But the original concept for that installation was to be hung in the middle of the room. And because the room was so massive, I really felt like it wasn't going to do the installation justice. So I wanted to kind of tuck it away in a corner. That also helped out because in the corner, they had those little hooks that were already integrated into the ceiling. If you don't have anything that's already integrated like that, like ballrooms are really difficult because sometimes they don't have those kind of things. But they usually have like trusses. Is it a truss or trusses? Truss? I don't know.
Sure.
They have like a truss.
I'll go with that.
Yeah, well, we'll just have that. They usually have like a truss or a beam that you can secure things to. And if you don't have something like that, then you're always able to kind of do almost like a really, really tall arch or an arbor. You could do something like a platform with like a giant pole and then having like that kind of blend into the wall, having like some greenery kind of growing up it and having that kind of like almost hanging. But I think it's just a matter of knowing the venue and kind of like using your imagination and creating something. You know, we're all creative individuals. And I think that's a time for us to show our creativity and make something work and make it beautiful, you know, and as if it was supposed to be that way, as if it was like intentionally done in that space. So yeah, trusses, whatever. A pole would be nice. You can do like a really cool kind of like arbory kind of thing, just kind of do something up there. But yeah, I hope that answered that. So
I think it did.
Good.
And do you have any other questions on your Instagram live that you're doing?
These people are they're giving claps and they're just waving. So yeah, they're not asking too many questions, which is unusual for them, which is, you know, it's fine. I think they're just kind of confused by who I'm talking to.
Hi, Sean's Instagram live.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Yvonne from Mayesh. She's over here asking all these questions that these wonderful people are asking me. So.
Yeah. And while we're here and while I have everyone's attention, I hope that you guys join me for another live tomorrow with Allison Ellis, another great designer, and we're going to be talking all about flower pricing. It'll be good. So make sure you guys tune in tomorrow for Mornings with Mayesh at 10 a.m. Eastern time. That took a little bit to get out there.
That was a lot. It's all good. It's 3 in the afternoon.
It really doesn't matter what time of day it is for me. I do stutter a little bit. It's okay. I'm used to it. All right, let's see. Lynn says, our lighting people can drop lines to hold my installs sometimes. That's a good tip, Lynn.
Yeah, that's helpful. That's good. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think, again, it really depends on where you guys are at. It's literally looking at this venue, looking at the space, and making sure that it's going to be able to hold what you guys are trying to do. Yeah.
And so I have one last question, Sean, and then I think that's a wrap. It's from RSVP Floral Design. They want to know, what do you use to show your clients their design concepts for installations like that? Sketch by hand, a design app?
Yeah. I think I'm very good with the words. I feel like I can describe things very well. I know that's not helpful for those of you who are like, I don't know how to say stuff. But I just describe it to them. I think in the video I called that like a ombre bird's nest. You know, I was like, I want to create this cool, whimsical, like bird's nest kind of thing up there. And you kind of can conceptualize that and think about that a little bit. I think hand sketching is always wonderful. I think that can be pretty time consuming. So make sure you're kind of factoring that in kind of with your price and all that kind of fun stuff. A design app, that would be helpful. If you're doing like an inspiration board, Pinterest is a great resource, just showing them, letting them know that this isn't your actual work, but that this is something that you're taking inspiration from. I think that's going to be helpful as well. So, yeah.
Very good. Everyone that's watching, do you guys use a design app or Sketch? Or I'd love to hear.
Also, Yvonne, we had someone asking about the Nashville workshop. If they can register for that, which this is on Instagram question. So
yes. My website has been a little bit broken for the past 2 weeks. Yes. So, and last week I made some progress 2 weeks ago, but then one of my main IT guys went out of town last week. So he is back. It is on his priority to-do list this morning for him. And I'm hoping we have it fixed in the next day or two. So it's a combination effort between my IT guy and then the guy that developed the event stuff. So, and this isn't anyone's fault other than WordPress, because they made this big change in the back end and then it broke a bunch of things on our front end. And so we've just been dealing with the aftermath of that, unfortunately.
I've got a couple questions like that, people wondering what's going on. And I think I've been saying, well, we're just trying to like hold out. I didn't know the reason behind it all. So a technical, reason for all that. But again, so maybe the end of this week, you'll be able to register, hopefully.
Yes. And as soon as it's fixed, you all will know, because we'll be definitely sending out emails and going all full heart on social media, so that way everyone knows that they're good to go and they can buy the tickets.
This didn't say it's brand new in Nashville. I think they're having one event the week before us, and it's, other than that, like, it's brand spanking new. So
yes,
awesome.
It looks amazing, you guys. It's going to be amazing. The venue always helps, but it's the people that come, and Sean and all the product, and yes, my amazing team that goes and is always in the background. So
you guys are awesome.
Yeah, thank you. I love my team. I'm very lucky. And so, we're very excited about Nashville. So guys, I'm really sorry about the broken website. It's been giving me major anxiety, and we are working on getting it fixed. I promise. It's on the top of my list, and my IT people probably think that we're very annoying right now. So I'm like, knock, knock, knock. Is it fixed yet? Knock, knock, knock. I need help. Help. But we're getting there. It's just coordinating all the different people that need to get on that project. So yes, Nashville, awesome. And then we're going to be hitting up Austin off after that. Yeah. And then we're going to be in Columbus, C-Bus, if you're from the area. That's what we call it, C-Bus. I'm from Ohio, Cleveland, Ohio.
Great places. I'm pumped. I don't know which one I'm more excited. I was excited about California, but now I'm getting like pumped for Tennessee, and then Texas is going to be cool. So it's going to be a good time. It's always a good time.
Yep. It's going to be amazing. Well, thank you, Sean.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Thanks for letting me come on here for a minute.
Yeah, this was so much fun doing a premiere and then doing the live. I think this is a great combination, and hopefully we can do it next month too.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right.
Absolutely.
Okay. All right. Everyone take care. Have a great day. Thank you, Sean, and I'll see you guys soon.
All right. Bye, y'all. See ya.
Bye.